Yeah, I've heard a lot about this docuseries, and how much talk about it. The first time I heard about the whole Dan Schneider and Foot thing is, let's see, well, first off, the articles and TikTok, for one, everyone kept referencing it, and I'd take a proper look. Like, I go back to one of my favorite channel was shows both iCarly and Victorious. iCarly mostly, and there was a lot of full of foot jokes and a lot of innuendos. And like when you're between 6, 7 to 14 and up, you just have a great laugh because the canned laughter. Watch it now, you go. All this is unbelievable. It's a kids show that has so many feet fetishes. Quite a lot. Hmm. And your head just kind of drops and you go, a kids show where you have a full-grown clothed man with a young Amanda Bynes. Who eats a scorpion in a kids show? A kids show where it's like a younger version of Fear Factor, and like, is this like a Saw thing? Is Dan Schneider sawing these kids? That's where there'd be viral TED Talks of everything that's been going on, and writers, staff, cast from Dan Schneider shows would come forward and clean up all the toxic work environment and behavior that's been happening, and and even Jeanette McCurdy of all would come forward about it. She'd even make a book about it. And don't worry, I'm ahead of you. I got this before last year, before the series came out, and it is fascinating of how her mom, her relationship with her mom and her grandmother, abusive grandmother going nuts. And in the book, I'm glad my mom died. Read it, you'll know why. And she referenced Dan Schneider as the creator, and she clearly means Dan, and how I won't go much detail. I can just recommend the book. It was this book though that did recommend me to get this. It does reference, there's a little bone from those Bone graphic novels by Jeff Smith. I'm trying my best not to go off topic, but here's the thing. It's a bone, it's a little foam bone, walking away from the Hollywood sign, and he's giving it the middle finger, flipping the bird. This represents any kid or cast that worked in Nickelodeon, and this represents Hollywood and Nickelodeon, because those who really work behind the scenes at Hollywood, Nickelodeon, Sunset, understand this message. And it kind of and I knew I got that for a reason after watching this. I'll never forget where I was when the Kids' Choice Awards back 2014 was. I was in the living room with my parents, and everyone was there just ass-kissing him.
Thank you, Dan. You're an inspiration!
You not only changed all of our lives, you changed kids' TV.
Look, after watching Quiet on Set, mixed emotions and sorrow was churning deep down. Finding out someone you love got abused broke your heart, because we grew up watching them. We grew up with Drake Bell and Josh Peck. We grew up with young Kenan Thompson and Kel Mitchell. We grew up with Jared Traynor. We grew up with Amanda Bynes. We grew up with so many talented people. Is Nickelodeon that clueless and unaware of a company? Like, the main issue is that they didn't show any protection over these child actors. And I do apologize. And my heart and thoughts go out to Drake Bell, his dad Joe Bell, Jeanette McCurdy, cousin Skeeter, watch the documentary if you know what I mean, Brian Brian Hearn, his mom, Tracy, Alexa Nicholas, the female writers, Jenny Kilgan and Christy Stratton, who were were on season 1 of the Amanda show, and every victim of Dan. Anyway, Jenny and Christy, they worked on season 1 of Amanda's show, fighting for equal pay for female writers, and they came clean of the sexist that Dan has brought upon them, and how they made their jobs a living hell on earth. Anyway, Alexa Nicholas, who was in Zoe 101 and creator of Eat Predators, is now spreading awareness of dangerous predator awareness and toxic work environments. And the Me Too era is really encouraging victims to come forward and really share their story. Just be honest about it. In 2017, the downfall of Dan was beginning as this bully, abusive, overweight, sexist, feet-loving cretin was gaining self-awareness and momentum. Like Dan Schneider, who was an actor and head the class back then, produced and created Amanda Bynes' show, All That, iCarly, Drake and Josh, Zoe 101, Victorious, Sam and Cat, Henry Danger, Game Shakers, and a few. Well, we all got older and began to rewatch iCarly and Victorious, Amanda's show. They all had bizarre porn references and innuendos, and I won't show this, but Ariana Grande is squeezing a potato, and then another where she's pouring water on herself. And can you imagine Ariana watching that now, going, what have I got myself into? Like, where was I? Like, what was I on? Just admit, this was not prime time. If this was like a rated R movie, like directed by John Waters or something by Tarantino, that's different. It'd be rated R. But this is TV PG, or this is a kids' tween show for Nickelodeon, for children. Like, you get more questions out of Jeanette's book. And
You know what I mean? Nickelodeon is known for being fun and messy and gross.
messy and gross is right, Ariana. It definitely has been. And like, I finished, there's 4 episodes you can watch on Max and then Philo, where I watched it. And apparently there are 3 or 4 predators. And let's see, one being Jason, the other Brian Peck, who was Pickle Boy. And does that sound any more sus at all? Quite a lot on All That. And what jaw dropped me was that he was pen pals with John Wayne Gacy. Oh, before I go on, please, if you haven't seen the documentary yet, you can, pause right now so you can give it a try. I'll even give you about 5 seconds. Anyway, Pickle Boy was pen pals with John Wayne Gacy, which there was quite a lot of red flags there. The real bombshell was he had himself register as an S offender after this John Doe that he did, and after all this time, apparently it was that John Doe was Drake Bell, which was, and now everybody knows, and it's one of those darkest. It's kind of like eyebrow raising, and just like he kept this secret all this time. I guess he was just too afraid. And the 3rd episode, it was like so full of manipulation and treachery and sorrow and just emotional, physical abuse. It's still one of the most hardest documentaries I've ever seen and cannot watch ever again was Shiny Happy Family, about the Duggar family. But they're both they're both absolutely dark with physical, emotional abuse, verbal abuse too as well, and all the stuff that Drake went through, like how the rust patch with his dad, and now he and him are close. Like Drake kept this all his time, and so when Brian was arrested, like his side, like Brian's side is full, like all full of familiar faces that we all know, and Drake's side is just his mom and his brother, and by episode 4, it shows how, let's see, all the letters that prove, let's see, that were defending Brian, who fiddled around with young Drake Bell. Some of them were James Marsden and Taron Killam from SNL, and I'm thinking, like, oh my, like why not? If James can say yes to those Sonic the Hedgehog movies, I'm sure he said yes to anything. And I'm like, I wonder if their families are watching this now. Jason and Taron's family watching this, going, what did you do? One of them was Will Friedle and Ryder Strong, thinking, weren't Will and Drake on voiced in the Spider-Man series? But I know they probably didn't know what was going on, because it's like, oh, it was a lot to unpack. Like, everyone had defended this man that abused young Drake, and it's like, the whole thing's tragic, like somehow a Shakespearean play. And it's like, and like, I don't know if Brian's still in jail or just roaming around, and now everybody knows how. Look, it went out of the clouds into Ronan Farrow's inbox, and now everyone knows that apparently Nickelodeon has harbors and contains so many pedos, so many predators. It's like, oh god, we had a lot of SH, abuse and harassment, is at Nickelodeon. Like, you got your other workplaces, of course, but luckily, with Dan, his downfall went. He was let go, and years went by, and now everybody knows of how much he's ruined of all of Nickelodeon's. I hope all of them, the skeletons in the closet that Nick has been keeping, and just it's still a lot to unpack. Like, I know it's not over yet, and it is like the downfall of Dan. And just the whole point of making this video is that it is one of the most hardest emotional stories I've heard of, and my heart does go out to those who are really victimized. Almost from writer to actor to director, and like, you don't have to keep bring out physical harm, physical pain to make something like when someone have toxic behavior, when someone's like, all this time there was just brittle left unchecked, and Brian Peck just waddling around. I don't know if Dan knew that or not, like, before that. So it's just, I don't know what to think. With Dan Schneider, when it came to Amanda's show, he went from, now he's a silly prank. I mean, he loves making pranks, funny boss, to, no, now he's filled with now he's psycho boss, alpha male who's highly opinionated, and by the Amanda show, his behavior keeps getting worse and worse and worse, and no one is ever going to handle that. So point of story, if you're in a work environment where there is verbal, emotional, physical abuse, or abuse, report that. As you report that, that it is not acceptable at all. Not one bit. Don't be afraid to be honest. Do come out. No matter who you are. Share your story, tell your tale. Make sure that justice prevailed, that justice has been served, that they hold those accountable. There is accountability. No matter what your work environment is. And my heart goes out to all the victims. I hope your days get better for you. Thank you.